Today I'm going to do a little narration on Larkin's tracking. Some of you may not know what an FH track is.
Zook.
But if you don't know, there are 3 titles for master tracking dogs, an FH1, FH2, and FH3. And I'm practicing for the FH1, and that is 800 paces with 3 articles, and then it has to age 90 minutes. So once the track is laid, you have to just let it age for 90 minutes. And so what's happening here, here in a little bit, coming up here, is another person walked on my field with 2 of their dogs. And so at the article, I yelled at him and asked him if he wouldn't mind just letting me finish my track. But that is going to cause some problems up here. You can see right now she's exactly 100% on the track. I used 2 leashes up until trial day. And then on trial day, you can only have 1 leash, and it has to be a 30-foot line. She's doing a really nice job. You can kind of catch a glimpse of that other dog there for just a second. So that was an article, and I'm going to explain in just a minute what actually happens at the articles. So on the FH track, I lay the track, and then on all the other ones, somebody else will lay the track, and they will be aged a lot longer, and the length of the track will also be a lot longer.
Nice job.
She's doing a really nice job here. I think my corner is coming up, and she did good on that corner, but now right in here is where they walked on my track. Somebody else walked on my track, the guy with the dogs and the dogs. So she has a little trouble there. But now in the higher FH tracking, there will be a cross track. So I thought this was pretty darn good practice, to tell you the truth. Now what she does there, if you don't know, is I do lay some food out just to keep her incentivized for keeping her nose down. And then right here too is where they walked on my track. So she has to kind of work out the problem. And I lay those X's on the ground with some chalk.
Nice job, Larkin.
The X means there's a turn, and a circle means there's an article. And no, I don't think she sees those or, pays any attention to them, because sometimes I'll just put them randomly out when they mean nothing. So right here, she's doing a lot of casting. And then she kind of gets back on the track. Now she's picking up some
girl.
Y'all can leave a comment below any questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer it. Our FH trial is coming up very soon. So we've been practicing a lot.
That's my girl, Larkin.
There's an article. And in just a second, at the next article, I'll explain sort of what goes on at the articles. An article is just a little piece of wood, little piece of leather, little piece of cloth. They're regulation size articles. And so what this whole thing mimics is, this was done by the Germans when they were guarding the wall over there. And so if the dog needed to track someone, they could track them, but then they could also indicate if they discarded an item, threw out a knife or key or whatever. And so that's what this trial, or this training and trial, mimics, is real life tracking, which you can do. Get a lot of casting here. Casting is just getting off the track. So you're judged on how well the dog stays on the track, how well they make the corner.
Good job.
The intensity to the track, and of course the articles. And so by this time, so this is a lot of work for her. 800 paces of constant sniffing is mentally
good
challenging.
job, Lark.
So that's why I'm doing these, is to build up her stamina. This is a practice football field that I'm using today. And basically I just had to go, down one way, over a little bit, up the other way in order to get my 800 paces in. This is actually 850 paces. And you have to get out here and do the work. If you want something, you have to take action. Something good is not going to come just by hoping and dreaming. You actually have to take action. Actions speak louder than words. Okay, at this next article, I left a little bit in so I could talk about what we do. But we're not there yet. Weather is great. Very little wind. But what I've noticed with her is the longer the track goes, the harder it is. Now this is again where all those people walked, or I'm going to say all those people, but one person and his dogs. So I was glad that she worked through the puzzle.
That's it. Good job. Nice girl
And
again.
now this article is where I left some in. So what happens when I go up to the article is I pay her. So I pet her. You're allowed to pet one time in the trial. So I'm petting her, and then I'm feeding her at the article. And why I pet her first is I'm conditioning her to think when she gets pet, food will come, a reward will come. Because in the trial, you can't use any food, no rewards. And you can only pet them one time at the article. And here's another turn.
Nice girl.
Now this leg is where the dogs
Good
really
job, Lark.
ran around and the guy walked around, so she does a lot of casting. But overall, and this is also the last leg of the track, so overall I was happy with this. I wished I could find some taller grass to track in, but this is all I have right now. I get here early and I lay the track, and then I let it rest the 90 minutes, and then we run it. She's doing well, but just a lot of casting, and I'm not sure why that is. She found some food. I did put more food towards the end of this last leg. We're almost there. I appreciate everybody watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Even hit the like button. And leave a comment, questions or comments below. I appreciate all the comments. So again, a lot of casting, but she works it out at the end. And keep in mind, in a trial, I'm going to be 30 feet behind her on a single line. So right now, I'm just trying to build her confidence. And that's
Nice
the last
girl,
article.
Lark.
Okay, thanks everybody for watching. Here at the very end, you're going to see a cool photo, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.